Hey Tim, have you heard of the new game that everyone has been playing lately?
My friend Corey said to me one day while we were constructing a project in English class.
No, what?
I said curiously. I had always liked playing games of all sorts. I would play anything that could keep my interest for more than a few minutes. I was so simple-minded that I would play games I didn't even understand, so as long as I had someone to play with.
It's called Runescape. It's an online game where you kill monsters, chop down trees, and become stronger.
It was at that point that I had a flashback to the days when I used to play Lineage 2 with my brothers on the computer. We would kill monsters and become more powerful. I had longed to play that game again. It was by far one of my most memorable things I did with my brothers as a child.
That sounds like fun. How do you get it?
I asked, figuring you had to download it like Lineage.
Dude, that's the best part. You play it in your browser. No download.
Corey exclaimed. He went on to tell me how him, his friend Royal, his friend Chris, and I could make a clan and go fight people in this place in the game that was called the Wilderness. Anyone could fight anyone else, so long as you were the same level. He told me they had already done it a couple of times, telling me how easy it was and how much fun I would have. That Friday, when I went over my father's house for the weekend, I went onto the website while Corey was on the landline with me. He walked me through building a character and completing the tutorial. After I finally entered Runescape, he met me in the starting village of the game. The village's name was Lumbridge. He displayed all of his cool items he had and all the neat things he could do because he was a higher combat level. From that point on, my new big thing was Runescape. The sad thing about the whole situation was that I was only allowed to play on the computer at my father's house. My mother believed that the computer would rot and corrupt my brain, saying that I needed to focus on school and learning. Due to this disdain between my divorced parents, my father was more than happy to let me play on the computer, specifically Runescape, all weekend long. Every weekend I was with him. Still, the fact that I was only allowed to play Runescape 6 days a month frustrated me. I hated my mother for not understanding what was good for me. She didn't love me. Luckily, my father did. My life became a living schedule book. I would spend my free time at home and my learning time during school, contemplating how I would maximize my RuneScape potential while at my father's house. This whole idea behind the planning was not to waste experience, the quintessential building block behind becoming more powerful in the game. At first, I was under the impression that the reason I was so obsessed with the game was because I wanted to become the best player in RuneScape. I spent many hours on the community high scores lists, looking at the best of the best players. I knew that it was possible for me to become the best. It was very unlikely, but not impossible. Soon enough, I came to realize that I wasn't going to be the best player in the game. The best players were gaining millions of experience per day, while playing every day of the week for countless hours a day. I decided to focus my efforts not on becoming the best, but better than Corey. From then on, it was war. Corey realized what I was doing as soon as I started to spend all my time leveling up our favorite skill in the game, woodcutting. At the time, he was level 80 and proud of it. I decided to try to outdo him. I spent the equivalent of a week straight leveling up nothing but woodcutting over the course of a month. In early December, I was level 65. By the time Christmas rolled around, I had attained level 90. Corey was outraged that I would even try to beat him on purpose, calling me a jerk and a show-off. He told me the day we returned from Christmas break that he was going to go for 99 woodcutting. This made me mad, as I had just spent a whole month training the skill without reaching the halfway point towards getting 99. I came back with an even more daring claim. I said that I would get 99 strength, which was one of those skills that took the longest to level up. At this point, we had a rivalry that to most seemed juvenile and pointless, but to us it was like a fight between Rocky Balboa and Mason the Lion Dixon. We were still friends, mind you, but in our own minds, we were enemies in the game. I had a resentment for his ability to play whenever he wanted, and he disliked my persistence with training. For the next 6 months, I trained my strength by fighting monsters, slowly leveling myself up. It was slow going and dull experience. Corey, on the other hand, had achieved 99 woodcutting in the matter of a single month, gloating about how easy it was and how he was thinking of getting another 99 while he waited. Not only was it maddening that my choice was taking so much longer, but he had made a deal that we would go to one another's 99 party. We had planned to reach the highest level in the game, in a controlled setting with all of our friends around to see. He did it on a day I could not attend during the week. About 4 months into trying to achieve level 99 strength, the unspeakable happened. Corey had to quit Runescape, saying it was boring and dumb. He had said that he didn't feel like wasting any more of his life on the game. I took this as an obvious opportunity to get ahead of him in woodcutting and cooking, the other skill he had achieved level 99 in, along with my original goal of strength. He came to my level 99 strength party, but not the other ones, not because he didn't want to, but because I didn't invite him. I wanted to shove it in his face that I was finally better than he was when the day came. A couple of years later, in 10th grade, on the normal Friday afternoon in modern European history, we were sitting next to one another learning about the Neapolitan Wars. I was on my laptop taking notes. I whispered to him while the teacher was writing notes on the board.
Psst, Corey, check this out.
As I said, pulling up the comparison of our characters on the RuneScape high scores, showing how I'd become better than him without him knowing. It was at that point that he took a moment to look at my screen, replying with my exclamation with a very simple response.
Cool, bro.
I was totally let down. I was hoping that he would make a big fuss about it. To my astonishment, he didn't even care! It was then that I finally realized what I'd done with those few years of my life. I frantically clicked through RuneScape page directories and went up to my adventurer's log. It was then that I realized what I had done with those few years of my life. I frantically clicked through the RuneScape page directory and went to my adventurer's log. This was the place where a game keeps track of your overall progress in the game. For the first time, I looked on and found the section where it told me how many hours I'd spent logged into the game. This number truly baffled me. 82 days. 82 days I spent playing a game that mattered literally to no one other than me. 82 days I wasted dumping countless hours into skills like clockwork. I felt like a loser. When I thought about it, this game had completely consumed my life, making me have to play it. Even worse, I paid money to play this game. I paid money to play a game that didn't matter. It became abundantly clear that what I thought from the beginning was flawed. My mother didn't hate me and therefore didn't allow me to play on the computer. She was trying to save me from myself. She was trying to protect me from this addiction. I continued to think to myself that night when I got home, what if I had made a video game that people would love so much that they couldn't stop playing? Could I make money doing something that I loved? Even though it seemed so simple, so easy that anyone could do it, I began to contemplate my options, using how I played RuneScape as a reference. I figured out that, like me, there were literally millions of other people who did the same thing I did. They played a video game in hopes of becoming the best, feeling like they were in a state of nostalgia the whole time, feeling like what they did or was doing was worth the time and it would take to become the best. From this I deduced that I wanted to become a game designer, but for a different reason. I liked the idea of making a game where anything felt possible, the idea that everything was attainable if the effort was put forth. I wanted to make games that were amazing, fun, and exciting. What I didn't want was to make a game that would make people feel worthless after they become addicted to it. I went through that myself, and I didn't want anyone else to have to feel that feeling of shame that I felt. I made it a goal from that day forth that I would become a game designer. I would make games that people would love but wouldn't become slaves to. The games I would make would give people the feeling that they could still enjoy other parts of their lives while striving to become the very best they could ever be.